All right, in this video, I'm going to be giving you the roadmap and game plan for a simple funnel that has made my businesses and also my clients' businesses millions of dollars. It's yours for free. You can rip it, you can steal it, do whatever you want with it. I'm going to run you through exactly what we do, why we do it. And I'm hoping that you get some inspiration, you take some value, and you can implement it for yourself. So if you are a coach or consultant and you are wondering how to scale to your first 10K per month, maybe you're at 10 to 20K per month and you want to scale it up to 50 to 100K per month, a simple funnel like this can absolutely get you there. And it's so important for a few core reasons. I'm going to run you through all of those reasons today. Now, first and foremost, as you start to want to scale your business, you're going to need to start looking at your assets and your back-end infrastructure. If you are still converting clients from just content into DM into a sales call, that's okay and good to maybe get you to your first 5 to 10K per month. But if you're really wanting to ramp it up, you're going to need to make sure that you've got a solid CRM system, that you start looking at different pipelines, different ways of generating traffic, different offers that are going to be able to help you multiply interest, multiply revenue streams, and of course, fast track the amount of sales that you can do on a monthly basis. Now, in this specific funnel that I'm going to be teaching you, this is a funnel that we generally run meta ads to. Now, of course, you can run organic to it, absolutely. In this example, we run meta ads to this funnel, and we've got a whole bunch of different things in place to not only capture the lead and get them onto a call, but more importantly, to nurture the lead and nurture the prospect to create know, like, and trust. So by the time they get on the actual call, they're going to be mentally and emotionally ready to speak with you. They're going to already be invested. They're already going to have some belief that you are the authority, that you are the expert. Because without some of these pre and post call systems set up, you are going to be getting a whole lot of no-shows, a whole lot of ghostings, poor quality leads. You're going to be wasting time and so much more. So the more that you want to scale, the more advanced you have to start thinking in regards to your assets, to your back end, to your nurture flows. And that's exactly what hopefully this will start giving you insight into as of right now. So let's get into what this actually looks like, and I'll run you through every phase and give you a bit of an overview of why we do what we do. So first and foremost here, you'll see that we have direct offer meta ads. Now, this is the entry point for your leads, whether it's organic content, whether it is you running paid meta ads, Google ads, YouTube ads, etc. We need to find traffic somewhere. You need to start getting invested in cementing your traffic sources, because remember this, a lot of beginner coaches, they start out and they've got their social media, they've got their friends, they've got their family, they've got a few work colleagues. They start putting content out there. No one's responding because guess what? They're not your avatar. And then all of a sudden you throw your hands up in the air and say, this isn't working. Life sucks. I'm going to give up. The truth is that everybody starts there. Where the amateur turns pro is that they start finding their avatar. They start investing in education, in marketing, in sales, in order to start finding their ideal client. And they are out there. There's millions and millions of people on social media, on all of these different platforms. And if you have the right message, the right offer, and of course the right ads and content strategy, you are going to find them. But it takes a little bit of time. Sometimes it takes a little bit of money, and it takes a little bit of effort. So be prepared to invest in all three, and you will absolutely win over time. Now, we run ads to a direct offer meta ad. Now, what this means is that a direct offer would be simply a call out for people to apply for your program. So you'd have a program title, you'd have the features. We can go into ads creative in another video, but it's basically calling out your ideal niche, sub-niche avatar to apply for your program. They click through the ad, put in their name, phone number, and email. We need all three of those assets in order to then take them into your CRM system so that we can further market to them through email, SMS, and eventually get them on the call. Now, the powerful thing about getting their name, phone number, and email is that we then have the power to concentrate communication and publishing. And why this is so important is, I speak a lot about this, but from a consumer behavior standpoint, Google did a study a few years ago, and they shared that individuals need to trust and like you before saying yes to a call. They found that the average conversion point only happened after 7 hours of consumption of content over 11 different touch points over 4 different platforms. Now, this is really important to remember because what this means is that you have to understand from the consumer or the prospect's point of view, they're not going to say yes to you if they haven't seen anything else about you. This is why our consistent content's important. This is why our ads are important. And this is also why capturing their name, phone number, and email is important, because once we have those details, we can then control the amount of messaging that we actually send to them. And then of course that speeds up the consumption time. So if the average consumer needs to consume 4 to 7 hours of content message before they know, like, and trust you enough to say yes to a sale, we can speed that up through our database, through our groups, through our emails and SMSs. Now, once the lead comes through this system, it's going to go into your CRM system. And then immediately, as you can see here, we then send them a congratulations email for applying for the program with a VSL explaining the next steps. And then we also send them a link to our community group, whether that's on school or on Facebook. What we're doing is we're pushing them into the community for the reasons that I've just mentioned, so we can further nurture them, so we can start getting in front of them in a more concise and precise way and share our message, start to warm them up further, add more value, which in turn creates reciprocity, which in turn creates trust and eventually a sale. So as soon as they come through the CRM system, we're then sending them congratulations email, bit of an overview of what's going to happen next. We send them to the group community as well, our free group, and that is where we can also further nurture and promote to them. Now, immediately after that, they'll get an SMS as well. Now, I like to initially send the email and SMS. Sometimes people don't open their email, so it's good to hit them on both the SMS and the email. And in the SMS, we confirm that we've received their application, remind them to check their email, and then also remind them to access the free group. Now, once that has been done, about a day later, we then send them a case study nurture, and then they go into our automated weekly nurture campaign. Now, the ongoing weekly nurture campaign here is all about making sure that they are seeing results, learning from us, starting to, again, believe we are the authority because of the value that we're adding through the email correspondence. And everyone in the database should be getting at least one email a week with value so that they remember who you are, what you do, and why you are so good. Again, that's a mix of case studies. It's a mix of testimonials and value videos, YouTube videos. It could be plain value text. It's good to mix it up, of course, but the main idea is that you're getting in front of them consistently, because you might generate 100 leads. Maybe you convert 15 to 20% of those in the month. The rest of those leads you're going to need to continuously nurture. And eventually, when the right time, right offer, or the right phone call happens, you're going to be able to book them into a call and then progress them onto a sale and onto being a client. Now, that's going to happen consistently for the rest of the 12 months. That weekly email sequence will just continue to flow through unless they become a client, which they will then opt out of that nurture sequence and they'll go into a client only sequence. Okay. Now, what happens once that's completed? Well, it's really important to understand that not every person is going to be your ideal client or your ideal lead. And so we've got to think about qualifying and disqualifying as many of these individuals, hopefully before we have to call them. So we are doing a few things. Number one, we can understand what offer is going to be relevant to what client. Number two, we're saving our time. And what that means is if we're spending our time calling every single lead, especially if you're spending 5, 10, 15, 20K per month on ads, it's going to be a whole lot of leads coming through. The time to call and triage all of those leads when you haven't got any insight into if they're qualified or non-qualified is a lot of time. It takes a lot of time to do that. So it's way more efficient and way smarter to try to automate as much of this process as possible before having to triage them. And so in this specific system, we're just qualifying them and we're labeling either T1 or T2. Now, what we're qualifying on generally is financial, urgency and readiness, and then some challenges and problems. Now, we keep it pretty light in this specific sequence. You can intensify your qualifications in different funnels, but for this one, we're simply just figuring out, do they work full-time, part-time, retired, don't have a job? And we're figuring out exactly what they are doing in regards to their work commitments at the moment. And then we get a little bit of detail on their actual industry and what they do. Now, for this, if they are working full-time or part-time, they get classified as a T1 lead. Now, the other one is urgency. So we ask them, are you ready to grow your business now? Are you ready to grow your business in 6 months? You're not ready. Now, if they say I'm ready now, that qualifies them as a T1. If they say ready in 6 months or not ready, that'll push them into a T2 qualification, which means not so qualified. So if they are a T1 qualification, this means that we now have a clear understanding in the back end, and this all goes into your pipeline as a T1, T2 new lead. So you now know out of all these leads that you're generating, exactly how many and what percentage are T1s versus T2s. And through understanding that, you get a few huge benefits. Number one, you can start to understand how well your ads, how well your marketing and messaging is actually working. Now, if you're getting, 5 to 10% T1s and the rest of T2s unqualified, well, we're probably going to have to dial in the messaging, the CTAs, the targeting of the ads. If your T1 qualification is higher and you are qualifying 30 to 50% at T1, then we're on the mark and we just start slowly improving from there. And so further to that, the other huge bonus of qualifying your leads when they come into your pipeline is that you then understand what the priorities are. So if you're going to be triaging, calling, or focusing on nurturing any specific lead category, of course, it's going to be the T1. In sales and marketing, speed to lead, which means the speed that you actually get onto a lead, is really, really important for the conversion. So if you want to maximize your time and efficiency and get onto the most important leads faster, it's pretty important to know which ones they are. And so as a T1 lead comes through, because it's not going to be the whole group, it's going to be a portion of the group, it enables you to focus your time, focus your energy, focus your focus, and get onto the right leads at the right time to help you fast track your conversions and speed up that sales cycle. Now, I'm going to run you through the T1 qualification pipeline funnel and then the T2 and just explain why we do what we do here. So once they go into T1, our goal now is to try to automate the booking. So we're automating the booking sequence. And in this version, we're not getting them to book on a landing page initially. We're running lead ads in this version of the funnel. And of course, there are many versions of this, by the way, and I'll run you through a different version on another YouTube video. But for this version, we run a lead ad. It's a cheaper ad, a little bit easier to run for the client. And then from there, we send the automated booking link through SMS and email in order to get them or prompt them to book in. Now, only the T1s are getting the automated booking sequence. So we're not trying to book and get on calls with the T2s. Why? Because either they're not ready or they're not financially qualified. So it's a waste of time for you or the closers. And we want time efficiency, business efficiency, and really make sure that we're putting all our focus on the good quality people and leads that need us. Now, once they go into the T1 channel, we're then sending them the first automated application call booking sequence prompt. Now, if they don't book immediately, we're then sending another reminder the next day and an SMS prompting them to book in. So we've got a whole strategy around the wording and the messaging in order to do a nice prompt to say, hey, you missed a step, make sure you book in. And then if they book, they'll get taken out of that channel and they then go into the application call sequence. But if they haven't booked, we then send them one last email and SMS reminder on the next day here in order to remind them to book the call. And then of course, from there, we're moving on to the triage calls. Now we'll send 3 reminders. If they haven't booked a call yet, do we just forget about them? Well, you've got 2 options. It really depends on your style of business and your business model. I'm a big fan of maximizing all opportunity. So I'm absolutely on board with the principle of calling all of these leads. So if they haven't automatically booked, I'll go through the pipeline and I will call up every lead that hasn't booked. I'll have a conversation with them about why they applied for the program. I will do a quick needs analysis and qualify, disqualify, and then I will book them onto a call. Or if they're not a good fit, I will take them out of the mix. So whether or not they automatically book, always try to get them on a call, no matter what. It's going to be really important for you to maximize your marketing spend, maximize your opportunity, and especially in the beginning. If you're starting out, you cannot afford to waste $1 on marketing. You cannot afford to waste one opportunity. Every lead is gold. So again, as they come through, if they book in, amazing. If they haven't booked in yet, I suggest that you call them up, you triage them, you Again, congratulate them on applying for the program. You get curious, ask them what motivated them to apply for the program, ask them some questions, problem, goals, and then book them in for the application call. All right. Now, if they have automatically booked in, do you just sit back and wait for the application call? In my view, if you really want to increase your show rate, then you want to triage the book calls anyway. And so once you actually book the call, what we then do is we set up another email sequence that is all about nurturing them, creating trust, creating authority, getting them excited for the call. And the point of this is to increase your show rate. And so for a show rate, you want to be aiming for around 65 to 70% minimum in a show rate. And unfortunately, it's pretty challenging to do just with automated booking sequences. It's not impossible. It has been done and we have done it. But if you want to double down and guarantee that you're going to be getting a show rate like that, I would rather you triage those booked calls. So all you're going to do is see who's booked in. You're going to call them up on the day they've booked in or the day after, and you're simply going to congratulate them for taking action, booking in for the call. You're going to confirm that they're absolutely able to show up for the call. And then of course, you say goodbye, you hang up the phone, and then you let the confirmation sequence do the rest of the work. Now, just a simple triage call like this, congratulating them, putting a voice to the name, making them feel more comfortable and excited about showing up for the call, goes a long way in getting that show rate from 13%, 30%, 40%, up to 60 to 70%. So it is well worth your effort in triaging any automated book call. Now, once that's been done, they then go on for the application call. And this application call, this is a sales call. Now, I can run you through a whole process around running a sales call. And of course, this is one of the most important parts of running your business. But one thing I'll just say on this point right now is this is not a coaching call. So if you're new to this game and you are a coach and consultant, it is so important that you learn the art and science of high ticket sales. This is not a coaching call. You do not wing it. You do not coach them. You run through a strict and structured sales process to make sure that you start to get predictability out of your application calls and strategy calls so you can start converting the clients that you deserve, not only making the money you deserve, but changing the lives that you know you were born to change. And of course, once you've done that successfully, we then move on to the next step of onboarding, automated process, as well as some human touch points to get them into the program, over-deliver, get them amazing results in the way that you do. And of course, hopefully they ride off into the sunset happy as hell. Now, let's talk about the T2 category. Now, that's the T1. So we know that qualifying the leads is really important. We know that it saves us time and efficiency. We know that it absolutely helps us get a better show rate and close rate. We know that it helps us create a bit of an automated sequence to fast track their application and make our lives easier in regards to the setting and closing process. But that isn't all of the leads. So let's say we get 100 leads come through 1 month and maybe 30 to 50% are T1s. You know, we might have 50% of those leads. So 50 leads in this scenario that are T2s. So what do we do with those? Do we just throw them in the bin? Do we forget about them? No, every lead is an opportunity and there is a need and desire of some sort because they've put the energy and effort into giving you their name, phone number, and email. So there's two things that we can really do here to nurture and give ourselves the best chance of serving these individuals. And of course, hopefully, at least breaking even on our ad spend, self-liquidating some of our ad spend through this process. So just as a reminder, the T2 qualification is they're either not financially qualified or they're not ready. Generally, those are the most important ones. Now, if they are not financially qualified, as an example, then they're probably not able to pay you for your high ticket coaching or consulting services. But what they may be able to afford is a low ticket solution. So this is where bundling and unbundling programs comes into play. We teach this to all of our amazing clients so they can maximize their programs, their profits, their revenue streams. But if you are generating a lot of leads and a majority of those can't afford the high ticket services, then having either a low ticket offer or a free offer is going to be the best offering for these T2 leads. So if you do have a low ticket offer, maybe it's a recurring revenue offer of $50 a month, $100 a month. Maybe it's a 6-week program for $297, something like that. Maybe you've got that on a payment plan. Maybe it's an upfront option. Either way, we can automate low ticket sales for the tier 2 qualified. Now, you don't want to offer the tier 1s this. Why? Because you want to be offering the tier 1s that are financially qualified your highest ticket items first, because generally that's what's going to create the best transformation for them. But the tier 2s probably can't afford it, but they do want a transformation. They do need a solution. So in this scenario, offering them some level of a low ticket offer, automated, so you're not having to do sales calls, you're not having to set these. This means that you are maximizing time efficiency, you're maximizing every cent that you put into marketing, and worst case scenario, hopefully you're at least self-liquidating your ads. If you can get the T2s to be purchasing a low ticket item and just that money covers the costs of running your ads, which fuels your sales for the T1 qualified leads, you have a system that you can scale basically for free. It's mind-blowing, and it is the best way to run an ads campaign. If you can self-liquidate the ads, you are going to be making money and you're going to be able to scale infinitely, which is so exciting. In this version of the funnel that we created for one of our amazing clients, who by the way is doing $40,000 months plus consistently every month off this funnel, we then go into offering a low ticket item. And so in this model, they'll get an email and will have value. It'll then have a VSL pitching the low ticket item. And then for this low ticket item, we're selling a mini course that goes for 6 weeks specifically for this client, and it's valued at $297. And that revenue is self-liquidating this ads campaign, so the leads are free for this client. Now, again, not everybody is going to see this and purchase straight away. So of course, we're sending multiple emails to, and then a third email to prompt them to purchase with a countdown timer to add a little bit of scarcity and urgency. From there, you've got the option to review this client's details after they purchase the short course and either triage them to feel into if they could be good for a high ticket offer, so you can upsell them, or you just congratulate them and let them go on their merry way in the low ticket offer until they get into the position where they may be able to purchase and apply for your high ticket item. Now, if you don't have a low ticket offer, that's fine. But most of you should have a free lead magnet that is designed to add value first and warm up and create know, like, and trust in your marketplace. Now, if you don't have a low ticket offer, the next best thing to do is to then push the unqualified leads into a free offer and a free community group, so you're able to continue to nurture, add value, build raving fan community, and when the time is right for that client, because you've created so much reciprocity and trust, they may be ready for a high ticket offer, or when you do launch a low ticket offer, they'll be able to purchase the low ticket offer and go from there. But in this model and with this structure, because of course we're thinking about the qualification and disqualification process, we're clear on separating those. So we're understanding the different styles of segmented marketing that we can actually do here. You are not only going to be focusing your time on the highest quality leads, which will give you the best and fastest results in high ticket sales, but you are also then considering how to maximize any unqualified leads that are unqualified in that moment through either reoccurring low ticket revenue or continued nurturing. So when the time is right and their circumstances potentially change, that they're ready to apply for a high ticket offer and move forward into becoming a client, which leads into where we want everyone to go eventually, the onboarding process. So this is a super simple funnel. Again, we've run this for many clients with huge success. This specific funnel, one of our clients is doing $40,000 plus per month, absolutely crushing it. And again, when you start to become serious about scaling and you really want to break beyond the 10K months, 20K months, you have to start thinking about how you're going to nurture the leads long term and get the most out of every dollar spent on marketing. And this is exactly one of the first steps in order to do that. So I hope you got some value from this. If you love this video, please make sure you like, subscribe, and comment. And if you are a coaching consultant and you are wanting to learn how to scale your business and build the business of your dreams, you can apply to have a chat with myself or one of my amazing team. Hit the link below, apply to have a conversation, and we'll see if we can help you structure something like this, or even better, to help you grow and scale your business from 10K per month to 50 to 100 and beyond. I hope you enjoyed. We'll see you on the next video.